Hi there, welcome to episode 3 of Totem Tuesday. Firstly, can I just say thank you so much for all your stories and comments I got on last week's Totem Tuesday about crows and ravens. There's so many magical, interesting stories that you guys told me. I think everybody has a magical raven story or a magical crow story or something which sticks in their memory, and I really enjoyed reading your stories. I will reply to them all one by one, but I'm just saying thank you now for those stories. It was really lovely to read them, and also I feel like since doing that video my bond with the crows has deepened even more, so it's a very lovely way of working. Now, week 3, and we're looking at, ta-da, the elephant. This is my painting of Ganesh here, but we'll come back to Ganesh in just a minute. I don't have a plan for which animal will come each week. What I decided to do was to let the animal step forward in a way. Which animal seemed to prevail, which animal seemed to come up and say, hey, me, and which just seemed to pop out more. It's very hard because most days billions of animals pop out to me, but this week I actually got a clear view. Last Tuesday, after uploading this video, I watched a wonderful, wonderful documentary. If you have seen it, if you're in the UK, BBC documentary called Africa. If you can get it outside the UK, I do recommend watching it because it's absolutely groundbreaking. It's amazing. The filming is wonderful, and there was a tale in this episode that just absolutely broke your heart. It was just, mind-blowingly stark, and it was a tale of an elephant family, and I won't go into it. It was just sad. It's to say it was sad. It showed the love, loyalty, care and family support of the elephant family, which made me cry. There was a story at the end which made me happy, but this was very sad. So I thought elephant, that's the one. And I've been saying a week, I was like, right, next week I'm going to cover elephant. This is going to be the Totem Tuesday week 3. So now it's next week, and now we're looking at elephant totems. So if you have elephant as your power animal or elephant as your totem, then we're going to go into some of the key words, the key ideas, the key feelings in just a moment. Also, you don't have to have elephant as your main power animal to choose to work with the elephant. If you find something in this video or something that you read to be inspiring or to be really saying, I think I need that in my life, then you can invoke that energy in your life. But first of all, I'm going to go into a few physical facts about the elephant. The African elephant is the largest living mammal to walk the earth. That's pretty awesome. There's a couple of subspecies of African elephant. The savanna elephant, there's also the forest elephant that's in the Congo basin, and that's smaller than and slightly different tusk shaped, slightly different colour to the savanna elephant. The savanna elephant is the biggest. Unfortunately, all the elephants are vulnerable, in a vulnerable status of being endangered, because, as you're obviously aware, they are horrifically and cruelly and needlessly poached for their ivory. So something I always like to say, if elephant is your totem, if elephant appeals to you, then to pay back that something to your totem animal is to support in any way you can, in money, in time, in raising money, in raising awareness, to support a charity that links to your totem animal. And so that would be something that I always feel with any animal that you work with is really, really nice to do. Because unfortunately not the animals that we'll talk about will be endangered. So, biggest land mammal to walk the earth. The Indian elephant is slightly smaller and has slightly different shaped ears to the African elephant. And because of the great ancestry of the elephant, obviously they're linked to the mammoth that walked the earth, millions of years ago. We have anyone that has elephant as their totem, or if elephant comes into meditation or whatever, a link to the oldest, most ancient wisdom. So you're tapping into something really deep, really ancient and really strong. Keywords that you can use, just to sum up elephant power. Obviously I like everyone to go a little bit deeper if they are interested, but can I use some keywords? As obviously I mentioned already, this ancient wisdom, strength. Obviously the biggest land animal in the world is going to be pretty strong. Royalty, a regal energy which we'll go into in just a minute. Of course you've got the tusks, which give you a warrior-like aspect, but also, we'll talk about this in a minute, also a great sense of feminine empowerment with the elephant. So many things, so much myth and folklore that surrounds elephant. So we're going to, again, as I say every week, we're just kind of touching on things in this video, and if you feel inspired to research more or to tell me more, please do. So the first thing I'm going to talk about regarding the elephants is that, again, this is about their actual lives, that elephants will generally be split into female herds and male herds. So they spend a lot of their time being with the girls, being with the boys. The leader of the female herd is called the matriarch, and it will be the elder, it will be the grandmother, the oldest, wisest elephant. And I think that's awesome. I think that we can learn a lot from how elephants run their families and communities. Such respect for their elders, such a lovely network of family care, that when a baby or a calf is born to a herd, not only has the lovely calf got its mother, it's also got suddenly a whole family of females looking after it, telling it what it can and can't do, guiding it and making sure it doesn't go astray. So you've got obviously the mother, you'll have sisters suddenly, aunties and grandmas and cousins, all there supporting you. So you'll find you've got lots of calves being babysat by all kind of members, and if one of the member of the herd is unwell, the others will look after it, and that's something beautiful as well. There's many links to people, I mean how we are and how elephants are. It is very similar, though in my opinion elephants are better. They are. I feel like the way they treat each other is better than the way humans tend to, not all humans of course, but you know, as a whole, tend to treat each other, and we could learn a lot by observing and working with elephant energy. The male group, the male herd, is led by the big old bull, the toughest, the biggest, the one with the biggest tusks, and he will guard the herd, but he will also have first choice of the ladies. And you often get the younger bulls who've come of age, who are thinking, I want the ladies now, challenging the older bull, the big old bull. And very violent fights commence because of this. There seems to be a real fiery, violent, aggressive kind of sexual frenzy that goes on with male elephants, and that's something that's noted in lots of folklore about elephants. With the males, a real virility, a real fiery passion, which kind of clouds all other senses. So the herds are separate, and the males will use their tusks not only to fight but to dig up roots, and they'll only really meet the females to mate, to maybe kind of socialise at a nice waterhole or a grassy plain, but usually it's just to mate. I think there's something we can really learn from, you know, not keeping male and females apart, but that the power of male energy and bonding and the power of female energy and bonding, and the beautiful way the herds work and the great tight-knit community is a very empowering energy to work with for both male and females. So, on to the more mythological, folkloric and religious context in which the elephants are brought in. You can see behind me we've got a painting of Ganesh. And Ganesh is pretty much the most iconic and most popular of Hindu gods. He's this jovial, elephant-headed god who removes obstacles, who will, grant you success on your ventures. He's known as the god of wisdom and the god of success. And when you start a new venture, start a new business, a new project, move house, you'll give offerings to Ganesh that he may bless your projects. When I was in Sri Lanka, I was really, really lucky to go to a Buddhist temple, and in the temple there were some beautiful statues, and there was this lovely little statue of Ganesh, and it was so poignant and lovely. There was this gentleman who for a long time was washing the statue of Ganesh, was dressing it in flowers, was singing and chanting and praying to Ganesh. I feel like he was doing that for quite a long time, and I was just in awe watching this devotion that he had for Ganesh. Ganesh came into my life about 6 or 7 years ago when I started doing yoga for the first time, and I was aware of his statues and pictures in the yoga room, and I always found, you know, in an uncomfortable, painful yoga position, that looking at Ganesh and his jolly face and his big belly always made me smile, made me think that anything's possible. And brought a lighter, more jovial energy to what I was doing. And around the same time, somebody commissioned me to do a painting of Ganesh. Not this one, it's actually a bigger painting of Ganesh. And it was for their new business. They wanted it on their wall for their new venture. So there again, it's very important for people who believe or work with Ganesh or elephant energy to have Ganesh's blessing on a new business. And through painting Ganesh, I just connected with his energy and the myths and the magic and the joy of him so much. He's a remover of obstacles because of the lovely trunk that the symbol of elephants is their trunk, and because the trunk can pick up trees and obstacles on the road and remove them. So you can see as someone that can clear the way for you. Looking at trunks, back to the totem energy and the practical energy of elephants, the trunk is an amazing sense of smell. Elephants don't have great eyesight, but their trunks really more than make up for it. So very sensitive to different smells. They can drink with their trunk and shower with their trunk and even pull up roots with their trunk. A nice thing I've seen as well is that when they greet each other, elephants can touch each other with their trunks as well, just as a hello. People who have elephant totem or with elephant energy will be drawn to the sense of smell, and it may be really good for them to work with aromatherapy and different fragrances. They may find that their moods and their emotions are really heightened by fragrances. So that's something to look into if you're working with elephant energy. Also, because of their pulling up roots and just knowing where the herbs and the roots are, people with elephant energy or people working with elephant as a totem may want to go into herbalism and look at working with herbs and roots. So there's some really lovely practical ways you can work with elephant energy. Back to the gods and back to Ganesh. So you've got the benevolent and loving and generous god of Ganesh. He's also the warrior. He's got his axe there. And you wouldn't, the warrior aspect comes in. You really would want Ganesh on your side or an elephant on your side, wouldn't you? You wouldn't want to have the elephant against you. There's a real anger, of course, that can come with elephants as well. The herd, the stampede. There's a sense of this immense power, the supreme warrior. And another Hindu god, in fact the king of gods, Indra, chose the elephant as his steed, as his mount. So this is where the elephant becomes very regal and becomes the mount of the gods. Indra was also a great warrior god, and he would ride his elephants into battle, charging and bringing fear. He would be assured success while riding elephants into battle. So again, we've got that extreme warrior link there. So working with an elephant totem brings you gentleness, kindness, compassion, love, but also absolute warrior energy. No one's going to go against you if you're really working with that totem energy and you're in that mood of the stampede. And maybe the other side of the coin is not to just stamp on everybody, maybe to be a bit more careful with the people's feelings. But if you need that power, then the elephant is going to be amazing to help you move forward and to help you really charge. The god Indra also was the god of rain and of the monsoons and the storms, and he invoked a grey elephant, or he asked a grey elephant to bring on the monsoon. And a grey elephant does look a little bit like a cloud. There's lots of links of elephants and clouds. Elephants and clouds. So I've seen lots of stories where elephants are seen in the clouds, and it brings a link of the divine in the heavens, the shapeshifter, the bringer of rain, and also a dream element to elephant totems as well. The mother of Buddha, Mummy Buddha, she is meant to have had a dream that there was a white elephant inside of her, and that's how people knew that she was going to give birth to the Buddha. So the white elephant, I think, is meant to be the most pure and divine spirit of elephant. So there's a few myths and links there. I mean, there's plenty of other myths and folklore you can look up, and I would love to hear the stories that you find. So I said earlier that there's a real link with humans and with elephants, and they do feel emotions very strongly. They play, you know, they have fun, they love, they care, they rest, and they also show great sorrow. When one of them dies or a family member dies, even if, you know, waiting or being with that animal is actually putting themselves at risk, they will still stay with that family member and they'll try and look after them. And when someone, a calf or an elder dies, they have been shown to show great sorrow, and that's a really beautiful and poignant aspect to the elephant. They will wait and they'll be with that animal, they won't leave it. So maybe that's why people talk about the elephant's graveyard. There's a kind of myth about the elephants go somewhere to die. It's not really the case, I don't think. Elephants don't seem to go to one place to die, but they have a link with death because they mourn and they show sorrow and love for those that pass over. So maybe that's where that link came from. So to summarise, there's plenty of other things I can say, but I'll keep it calm. To summarise, working with elephant energy brings the ancient, most strong and deep power. It brings the power of the ancestors. It brings the strength of royalty, but it also brings a tender love of family and community. So those that work with elephant energy may find themselves as leaders, but always will work within the community, care for the young ones and care for the elders. I hope you've enjoyed watching my video on elephants. I'll probably think of loads more things to say about elephants when I stop recording, so I'll write in the comments below or on my blog. I'll put the link to my blog below as well if you want to go and have a read. There's extra bits and bobs about all my videos on my blog. So thank you for watching, and if you did enjoy the video, please like it, share and subscribe. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, do feel free. I will see you next week for another Totem Tuesday.